Hey everybody, welcome back to Conscientious Omnivore. My name is Pal. Today I'm going to be doing another one of these rambling kind of videos on my way back from jiu-jitsu. I kind of like doing these, they're kind of fun. I always feel like I'm a little bit out of it because head rush and everything. So sometimes it's a little bit wobbly, but I usually get to the point I'm trying to make. So hopefully you guys enjoy this one as well. You know, I was going to just do a basic update for you guys and tell you where I am with Wim Hof, and with being sick, I lost a bunch of momentum. I had about a week and a half where I did it every day. I was doing the breathing exercise in the morning, I was doing the cold shower to finish my shower at night, and I was feeling really good. And the cold shower, like, I'm up to about 2.5 minutes now at the end. So it's really good. I almost kind of feel like I'm going to probably just start doing the whole shower cold pretty soon, just to see if I can do that. So I was like, oh, I'll just do the whole video. I'll just tell you guys about Wim Hof and blah, blah, blah. I lost some momentum because then I got sick, and now it's been kind of hard to get my breathing back in the morning. I find it too easy to skip it now. I'm just like, I'm not feeling that great yet. I'm not like 100%, blah, 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 whatever. I make excuses and then I don't do it. So I'm going to try and get back to, disciplined, doing it every day again. But anyway, on the way to training, like, I happened to see on Twitter, shout out to Logan Blake, that he was doing a video, and he was saying that Tim Sheaf quit veganism. And I was like, what the? And, I pinged him real quick. I said, is this for real? Like, or is it just like clickbait? And he's like, no, it's like legit. He's eating eggs and salmon. So I haven't looked, if anybody's watching this, and, I haven't been home yet. So, like, I haven't looked at any videos. I don't know if this is like true or not, like 100%, but if Logan said this, and I don't think he was kidding, then, he's probably right. So, anyway, I don't want to really talk about Tim. I don't want to make the video about him. I actually kind of like Tim Sheaf. Back when I first became vegan, or when I first, actually, it was before I even became vegan, I was watching a bunch of videos by a bunch of different people. And I was actually watching his videos very early on. And then immediately after becoming vegan, I was watching a lot of his videos because I actually, really related to him, and I really liked what he was saying. And this was kind of like early, what was it, 3 years ago. So I think it was, I don't know how long he's been vegan, but like, I don't think he had been vegan for very long, probably like a couple of years at that point or something. And, he was still very much like into the parkour thing and doing all this cool, like, free running and all that kind of stuff. And I just thought he was like a cool guy and whatever. So anyway, fast forward, to when he started, talking about all the flat earth stuff and drinking his own pee, and I just kind of was like, my interest level just, fell off the face of a cliff. It was like, okay, this guy's, just not really, we're not on the same wavelength anymore, kind of thing. So I still got nothing against the guy, but it's just like, okay, he's getting kind of weird. Then he did the fast thing, and, I just felt bad for him, because I just don't think that kind of, like, level of fasting is good for people, but hey, whatever, I don't even want to get into that. So, not to hate on Tim, I really just want to talk about, what I want to talk about, but this is what kind of spurred it in, like what I actually want this video to be about. So that's the backstory. Now, here's what I was, wanted to tell you guys is, like, it got me thinking a lot about what it would take for me to quit veganism. And I'll tell you why I've been kind of like wanting to do a video about this anyway, but now that I saw this about Tim, it kind of propelled it forward, so I'll do it right now tonight while it's kind of fresh in my mind. When was it? The last time I went for a haircut, which was, I think, last week. But anyway, I went for a haircut, and I've been noticing the past, like, I don't know, maybe a few months, that like, I'm kind of like losing, some of my hair. And I would just notice it, like, after a shower or whatever. I'm like, oh geez, like, see a bunch of hairs in the tub or whatever. And I was just thinking, like, oh, that's, like, I wonder if I'm getting, a little thin at the top or whatever. And I was going for a haircut, and I actually just happened to kind of like I had like top lighting. I was in a bathroom or something, like in a mall or whatever, and like I just had the lighting kind of like right on top of my head, and I was like, wow, like I really noticed it, like I'm really thinning out on the top. And, you know, I was like, man, you know, like I'm losing my hair, but whatever. You know, it's just cosmetic, and, you know, but I think for most guys, like, nobody really enjoys the fact that they're gonna probably start going bald. But long story short, I'm like, well, you know, whatever, it's been a good ride till now, and if I lose my hair, like, so be it. And of course, though, the, you know, kind of cynical part of me, you know, says, like, oh, you know, it's veganism. I'm going bald because of veganism. I'm sure there's gonna be people who are watching this and probably laughing, like, ah, you stupid vegan, that's why you're going bald. Never mind the fact that, like, everybody in my whole family, like, males on both sides are bald, like, everybody. And never mind that, like, you know, my dad went bald way earlier than 40. Never mind the fact that my, you know, my brother even has been, like, losing his hair since, like, he was basically, like, at the end of his teens. So, you know, never mind all that stuff, but, you know, I could say, oh, well, you know, veganism is making me lose my hair. And you know, if I didn't feel actually great, like, otherwise, like, physically, you know, like, running wise, and, you know, like keeping up in jiu-jitsu and stuff like that, I regularly get complimented in the class about my strength. You know, I feel pretty good and pretty strong, and I guess, like, for people like my weight, I don't know, like, I get complimented that they feel like I'm stronger. And people think I'm heavier than I actually am. And so anyway, so what I'm saying is, if I didn't feel good, I would be, like, a lot more worried about losing my hair, because I would just be like, well, you know, maybe if I'm feeling off, or I'm feeling, you know, like, weak, you know, then I'm just like, maybe there's, like, some, you know, something to worry about. And so I've been thinking about this of, like, you know, what would it take for me to think, like, geez, you know, like, I really should, like, get myself checked out, or I really should go to the doctor, or, like, you know, like, maybe I'm not eating something right, or, you know, maybe my testosterone's low, or I don't know, whatever. Like, is my sex drive okay? Is, you know, like, is, like, performance in bed faltering, or whatever? I mean, what are those things, you know? And it got me to thinking about a lot of these guys, you know, guys and girls, I'm saying guys in general, like, that are, you know, these ex-vegans, and the reasons why everybody quits. It's like, I definitely see a pattern, and I've done, you know, my little video about, you know, my you know, the little parody video I did with my friend who quit veganism and then comes back after he experiences all the problems on the carnivore diet. But in all seriousness, I really do actually feel flustered like that, like in that video, because I feel that, just, you know, people have these, like, kind of, like, weird excuses, and, like, just things where, like why don't people go get checked out at a doctor? You know, like, why would they trust somebody on the internet, you know, who's a fasting expert, or, like, telling somebody, you know, like, you know, drink turpentine, or whatever, you know, like why would you trust somebody like that, and, like, not actual, like, medical professionals? Like I understand, okay, I don't trust all doctors either. You know, I definitely like to kind of, like, ask questions when I'm at a doctor's office. I like to ask questions whenever I'm at any kind of, like, specialist's office. If I bring my car to the mechanic, I at least want to be able to have the person explain to me what they're doing at a high level. Like, I'm not a mechanic, but I want to at least have them explain it to me in a way that I can understand it. Like, I don't just blindly trust, you know, somebody, or maybe I'll go online and do some more reading, or get a book and, like, you know, do some reading or whatever. But, like, I'm not saying blindly trust people, but at the same time, like, if I were feeling something bad or off with my health, and if it's, like, a, you know, drastic change from when I was feeling good, and my diet hasn't changed or something like that, like, I'm gonna certainly think about, like, well, geez, you know, like, you know, I haven't changed anything about what I'm doing, and I'm starting to feel different, like, worse, you know, whatever, or I'm losing weight, or, you know, all these kinds of things. Like, why don't people go get themselves checked out? And I've thought a lot about this, and I honestly don't have a good answer for this. I literally can't understand what makes people not go see a specialist. And you know, I've been thinking about this because, you know, like, I actually wanted to do a little video for you guys, like, basically, like, saying, like, you know, like, yeah, you know, I'm losing my hair, and I don't think it's veganism. I think it's the fact that I'm 40, and I think it, like, runs in my family. It's pretty much genetic, I would think. literally every like male in my like family on both sides, they're all bald. So like, they're like anybody over 50 in like my family, they're pretty much all bald. So the fact that I'm like thinning out, I'm not going to worry about it. If something were to deteriorate in my health or in some other aspect that I would like think is a negative change, I'm going to worry about it and I'm going to go. This is cosmetic. I don't really care. If something happens where it actually makes an impact to my health, then I'm going to care. So I think that's where I draw the line, and that's what I would do, is I would go seek, a specialist. Now, if I go see somebody and I think they're saying something that I don't agree with, or I think is silly, or is just illogical based on what I know, I'm going to question them. I'm going to have them explain it to me. I'm going to challenge what they say. I'm going to, maybe go see another specialist and get a second opinion, and have them give me kind of a good reason why they think that their opinion is more like valid than somebody else. But my whole point is, like, I'm not going to just start doing like self-medication style or self-correction kind of things, just assuming that like I'm doing something wrong, or that something hadn't changed or whatever. I mean, there can be any number of reasons why somebody might experience various problems. Obviously, diet can affect anybody regardless of what kind of diet you're eating, and it's something that I've said time in and time again, that there is no one vegan diet. Like, you might be eating something that is not right for you. Like, you might not do well with certain foods. You might also need to eat more of certain foods. I mean, like, you might have a deficiency. Like, yeah, you can go check all these things out. But, I also think that a lot of people, once they've been vegan for a long time, like, and you haven't experienced something for, like, I always joke around about this with like Sverige and like, Frank and all these people, Frank Tufano, like, it's like, oh, it takes years. Well, okay, but how many years? I mean, how many of the people watching this video now, you guys have been vegan for way longer than me, and I see the comments, I see people talking, I know people that have been vegan for way longer. It's like 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, 14 years, 30 years, like, don't tell me that after, 15 years, like, you haven't experienced any health problems, and then all of a sudden you're going to start experiencing health problems. Like, maybe it's aging, like, okay, my knees creak. Well, my knees have been creaking since I've been like, I don't know, like 15 or something. I very distinctly remember, like, my knees have always been kind of loud. I could say, okay, well, veganism is ruining my knees. It's like, no, maybe it's all the running I do. I don't know. Like, maybe it's all the running I did before I switched to like 4-foot running. There could be any number of things, and you can just keep going down the list. Like, people can just pick things, and then just, I don't know, like, what it is with people that quit veganism after such a long time without actually going to get checked out. And I guess that's where I kind of like want to end the video, is to just say that, I feel bad for anybody who, maybe liked him, or they clearly understood the ethical, connection, and they know what veganism is at the heart, but then, they somehow get so lost in this, like, looking for this optimal health that they can never find, that it just leads them down these crazy paths of things that are ultimately hurting their health. Like these fasts and urine therapy and God knows whatever else people are trying. And I guess, like, if somebody's doing this stuff and it's working for you, I mean, like, I don't want to slag you, so it's not like that's not the point of the video. But yeah, I guess just like I personally don't think there's much benefit to those things, and I don't know, I guess I'm rambling at this point, so I should pretty much end it here. I guess just, if anybody's watching this and if you're struggling, I would just encourage you to, like, go and seek actual help. Like, don't just try to figure things out on your own. Like, that's what you have people there for, who are, professionals, and they're, you don't have to take them at their word. If you're afraid that you're going to go to, like, some doctor who doesn't agree with veganism, and the first thing they're going to tell you is, like, start eating bacon, because they don't know that it's a cancer-causing, agent. okay, like, you know, maybe that's, you know, maybe that's a fear, but like then go to a different doctor, you know, and, you know, ask them to show you and explain to you what it is they're doing. And yeah, I guess that's kind of all I'm gonna say is, if you're struggling, get help. You know, don't be afraid to go and actually see a doctor. And I guess for anybody who you know, like, is kind of going through any kind of similar thing where like you're experiencing some issues, then, you know, don't just assume that the answer is like you're gonna eat eggs and then all of a sudden the world is gonna be, you know, rainbows and lollipops and I don't know. So yeah, that's it. I hope you guys don't find this too weird, and sorry for the rambling, and see you guys in the next one. Bye.